My mother-in-law called me a gold digger, then she found out who owned the house. My mother-in-law called me a gold digger at my anniversary dinner. We were at the country club with 40 people watching. She held up her champagne glass and said it loud enough for everyone to hear. "Well, Diana, I suppose you've done well for yourself. Marrying into money must feel like winning the lottery." The whole room went quiet. People stopped eating. Conversation stopped. Everyone stared at me, waiting to see what I would do. I could feel their eyes on me. Some looked embarrassed for me. Others looked curious about what would happen next. My husband Marcus didn't say anything to defend me. Instead, he smiled. It was that mean little smile I'd been seeing more and more lately. He was enjoying this. His mother was humiliating me in public, and he thought it was funny. I took a sip of my water and looked his mother right in the eyes. My voice was calm and steady. "Actually, Patricia, I think everyone should know the truth about who owns what around here." I reached into my purse and pulled out a manila envelope. I slid it across the table toward her. She stared at it but didn't open it. Not yet. But I knew she would. And when she did, everything would change. Let me go back 3 months to explain how I got here. I need you to understand what led to this moment. I'm a forensic accountant. That means I trace money for a living. I follow paper trails and find things people try to hide. Big companies hire me when they think someone is stealing from them. I'm very good at my job. It's funny how Marcus seemed to forget what I actually do for work. He would come home and barely ask about my day. He stopped caring about my career years ago. That was his first mistake. For the past 6 months, Marcus had been acting different. He worked late all the time. 3 or 4 nights a week, he'd come home after 10 at night. He always kept his phone face down on the table. He started wearing new cologne that I didn't buy him. When I asked him about it, he said a client gave it to him as a gift. I'm not stupid. I knew something was wrong. My gut told me he was lying. But I'm also not the kind of person who makes big decisions based on feelings alone. I needed proof. I needed facts. I needed evidence that would hold up in court. So I did what I do best. I looked at the money. Our joint bank accounts looked normal at first. Money came in from our jobs. Money went out for bills and groceries. His business account seemed fine too. Everything appeared normal on the surface. But then I noticed something strange. Small transfers going out. Every Tuesday and Friday. Always the same days. They were small amounts, just $500 or $800 at a time. Small enough that most people wouldn't notice them. Small enough not to trigger any alerts from the bank. The money was going to a company I didn't recognize. An LLC called Chase Consulting Services. I had never heard of it before. Marcus had never mentioned it. That's when I knew I had to dig deeper. I searched for information about the company. I used the corporate filing databases I have access to through work. It took me less than an hour to find what I needed. Chase Consulting Services was registered to someone named Vivian Chase. The address listed was a downtown office building. I looked her up in every database I could access. Vivian Chase was Marcus's executive assistant at his office. She'd worked for him for 2 years. My stomach dropped when I realized who she was. This was the same woman who had come to our house for dinner parties. The same woman who brought birthday presents for our daughter Emma. She had hugged me at Christmas and told me I was such an inspiration. She said she admired how I balanced work and family. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw things. I wanted to confront Marcus right then and there. But I didn't. Instead, I decided to dig deeper. If he was hiding this, what else was he hiding? Over the next few weeks, I became like a detective. I searched through everything carefully and quietly. Marcus had no idea what I was doing. I found an apartment lease. Both their names were on it. A fancy downtown apartment. 2 bedrooms. 2 bathrooms. The rent was $3,000 a month. I checked the dates. He'd been paying for it for over a year. I found credit card statements Marcus thought he had hidden. He had opened a new credit card without telling me. The statements showed jewelry purchases. Expensive dinners at restaurants we'd never been to together. Trips to Napa Valley and wine country. A weekend in Cabo that he told me was a business conference. I printed everything. I saved everything to 3 different hard drives. I made sure he couldn't delete any of it. Then I found something even worse. Text messages. Marcus had backed them up to a cloud account and forgotten about it. I had access to everything. The messages to his mother made my blood boil. I sat at my desk at work reading them. My hands started shaking. "Mom, I need your help. Diana's going to take everything in the divorce," Marcus had written 2 months ago. "Don't worry, sweetheart. We'll make sure she leaves with nothing. The prenup will protect you," Patricia replied. "She doesn't even know about the offshore accounts. She's completely clueless about money," Marcus wrote. "That's what happens when you marry someone beneath you, Marcus. She was never one of us." "I tried to warn you," his mother responded. There were dozens of messages like this. They'd been planning this for months. They thought I was stupid. They thought I had nothing. They thought I would just accept whatever they decided to give me. When I read those words, my hands started shaking. But it wasn't because I was sad or hurt. I was furious. They were about to learn a very expensive lesson. Here's what Marcus and his mother didn't know. This is the part they never bothered to find out. The house we lived in? The one Marcus always called his family's estate? The one he bragged about to his friends? I bought it. With my own money. Every single dollar came from me. For years before we got married, I worked on a huge fraud case. A tech company had been stealing money from investors. I traced millions of dollars for the law firm handling the case. They paid me very well. Extremely well. I made enough money from that one case to buy a house with cash. No mortgage. No loan. I owned it outright. At that time, Marcus had terrible credit. He had maxed out credit cards and unpaid bills. His family money was mostly just debt and lies about being rich. His mother acted wealthy, but they were actually broke. So I bought the house. I put the deed in my name only. Just my name. We got married a year later. Marcus moved into my house. It was supposed to be our fresh start together. Our new beginning. He started calling it our estate. He told everyone it was his family home. He said his family had owned it for generations. He lied to everyone. Even his own mother believed the lie. I never corrected him. At the time, I didn't think it mattered. We were married. We were supposed to be a team. I thought we were building a life together. I was wrong. The prenup his mother's lawyer wrote was supposed to protect Marcus. Patricia insisted we sign it before the wedding. She said it was just a formality. The prenup said Marcus's business assets would stay his if we ever divorced. But here's the funny part. His business barely existed. He had almost no assets to protect. The prenup said nothing about my house. Nothing about my investments. Nothing about my bank accounts. Why? Because Patricia assumed I had nothing worth protecting. She thought I was poor. She thought I was marrying Marcus for his money. For 3 months, I carefully built my case against Marcus. I worked on it every day. I was patient. I was thorough. I was methodical. I documented every single money transfer. Every lie he told me about where he was going. Every expense related to his affair with Vivian. I created spreadsheets. I organized everything by date. I saved everything in multiple places where he couldn't delete it. I hired a private investigator. The best one in the city. The investigator followed Marcus and Vivian. Took photos of them together. Videos of them going into the apartment. Everything was timestamped with dates and locations so there would be no questions later. No way for him to claim it was fake. I met with a divorce lawyer. Not just any lawyer. I found the toughest, meanest, most successful divorce lawyer in the state. Her name was Susan Blackwell. She had a reputation for destroying cheating husbands in court. We planned everything carefully together. I decided exactly when I would reveal everything. It had to be perfect. It had to be public. It had to be devastating. I chose our 10th anniversary dinner at the country club. The timing was perfect for several reasons. Marcus had insisted we have the party there. It was his mother's idea, of course. She wanted to celebrate a decade of the Reynolds family legacy. She wanted to show off in front of all her rich friends. She wanted everyone to see how successful her son was. She had invited all her friends. All the people she wanted to impress. The guest list had 40 people. Everyone who mattered in her social circle would be there. She had no idea what was coming. Neither did Marcus. They thought this would be their moment to shine. Their chance to show everyone how perfect their family was. Instead, it would be the night their whole world fell apart. The night everyone would see the truth. On the night of the dinner, I got ready very carefully. I wore a red dress. Bright red. I chose it on purpose. Red means power. Red means confidence. Red means you're not afraid. I did my makeup perfectly. I styled my hair. I put on my best jewelry. I wanted to look strong and beautiful when I destroyed them. Our daughter Emma sat next to me at the dinner table. She's 8 years old. She had been very quiet lately. Sad and withdrawn. She stopped laughing at jokes. She stopped playing with her toys. She would just sit in her room reading. Kids always know when something is wrong. They can feel it even when adults try to hide it. Emma knew something bad was happening. She just didn't know what yet. The dinner was beautiful. Expensive catered food from the best restaurant in town. Fancy French wine. White tablecloths and candles everywhere. Crystal glasses. Fresh flowers on every table. Marcus stood up and made a toast. He raised his glass high. To my beautiful wife Diana, he said with a big fake smile. Thank you for 10 wonderful years. Here's to building our future together. Everyone clapped. They smiled. They had no idea he was planning to leave me for his assistant. They didn't know he'd been stealing our money. They thought we were the perfect couple. I smiled and nodded like everything was fine. I raised my glass. I played my part perfectly. Then Patricia stood up. She couldn't help herself. She had to be the center of attention. Patricia Reynolds. Old money family name. Old attitude. Mean as a snake and twice as poisonous. I'd like to say a few words, she announced to the room in her loud voice. She talked about family. About legacy. About the importance of maintaining standards and knowing your place. Then she turned and looked directly at me. Her eyes were cold and mean. Patricia continued her speech. Diana has certainly enjoyed the benefits of marrying well, she said. Her voice had a nasty edge to it. Several people looked uncomfortable. They shifted in their seats. Some looked down at their plates. They could tell something mean was coming. The house. The lifestyle. The opportunities she never would have had otherwise, Patricia said. She paused for effect. I just hope she understands how lucky she's been. How fortunate. Not everyone gets to live like this, after all. She raised her glass high in the air. Her diamond bracelet sparkled in the light. To Marcus, for his generosity and kindness. For being such a good provider. That's when I stood up. Every single eye in the room turned to me. The room went completely silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Actually, Patricia, I think there's been a misunderstanding here. A very big misunderstanding. I opened my purse slowly. Calmly. I pulled out the manila envelope. Marcus's face went completely white. All the blood drained from his cheeks. He knew something bad was about to happen. I held the envelope in my hand. I prepared some documents that I think will clear things up for everyone. My voice was steady. Calm. I wasn't nervous at all. I'd practiced this moment in my head 100 times. Marcus started to speak. His voice cracked. Diana, what are you doing? We can talk about this later. Shoo, I said gently, like I was talking to a child who interrupted the adults. Let your mother read first. I walked around the table and handed the envelope directly to Patricia. Her hand shook as she took it from me. She looked confused and angry at the same time. She opened it slowly. Inside were 3 documents. 3 pieces of paper that would change everything. I watched her face as she read each one. Her expression changed from confused to shocked to horrified. Her mouth fell open. Her eyes went wide. The first document was the deed to our house. It showed my name clearly at the top. Diana Martinez. Purchased in 2019 for cash. Sole owner. Not Marcus. Just me. The second document was a detailed forensic accounting report. I had prepared it myself. 20 pages long. Professional. Thorough. Undeniable. It showed that Marcus had transferred $127,000 from our joint accounts over 18 months. All of that money went to support his affair with Vivian Chase. The apartment rent. The jewelry. The trips. Everything was documented with dates and amounts. The third document was a divorce petition. Official court papers. I had filed them that very morning. The ink was barely dry. Patricia's hand trembled so badly she almost dropped the papers. What is this? What have you done? I kept my voice calm and clear. I wanted everyone in the room to hear every single word. That's the deed to the house, Patricia. You know, the house you stay in every Christmas? The one where you host your book club meetings? The one you redecorated last spring without even asking my permission first? I paused to let that sink in. That house is mine. I bought it with my own money 4 years ago. Before I even married Marcus. It's in my name only. It always has been. Patricia's face turned bright red. A few people at nearby tables were listening now. Leaning in to hear better. Marcus stood up quickly. His chair scraped loudly against the floor. Diana, please. We can talk about this privately. This isn't the place. No, I said firmly. I cut him off. Actually, this is exactly the place. Since your mother wanted to talk about who owns what in front of everyone, let's make sure everyone knows the truth. I turned to face the whole room. All 40 people. All of Patricia's rich friends. All the people she wanted to impress. My voice was strong and clear. My husband has been having an affair with his assistant, Vivian Chase, for the past 18 months. Gasps. Someone dropped their fork. It clattered against their plate. Whispers started spreading around the room like wildfire. I kept going. He's been stealing money from our joint bank accounts to pay for her apartment downtown. To buy her jewelry. To take her on trips. $127,000 of our money. Money that should have gone to our daughter's college fund. More gasps. People looked at Marcus with disgust. His face was bright red now. He looked like he wanted to disappear. And his mother, I turned to look at Patricia, has been helping him plan this divorce. She's been helping him figure out how to leave me with nothing. They've been planning this for months behind my back. Patricia tried to speak. We weren't. Unfortunately for both of them, I said loudly over her protests, they didn't realize something very important. I'm a forensic accountant. I trace money for a living. I find things people try to hide. I found everything. Every lie. Every secret. Every dollar. I looked around the room. I also own our house. And their precious prenup? It's completely worthless. It doesn't protect anything that actually matters. I looked down at Emma. She was watching me with wide eyes. Waiting to see what I would do next. Waiting to see if I was okay. Sweetheart, go get your overnight bag from the car, I told her softly. I had packed bags for both of us that afternoon. I'd planned everything perfectly. Emma stood up immediately. She grabbed her coat from the back of her chair. She almost looked relieved. Like she'd been waiting for this moment for a long time without knowing it. We're staying at Grandma's house tonight, I explained to her. I meant my mother. Not Patricia. My mom knew everything. She'd been waiting for my call. Emma practically ran to the parking lot. She couldn't get out of there fast enough. I didn't blame her. She was escaping. Marcus tried to follow us. He grabbed his jacket. Diana, please. You have to listen to me. We can fix this. We can work it out. It was a mistake. I stopped and turned around. Everyone was still watching. Still listening to every word. I looked Marcus directly in the eyes. You spent $8,400 on jewelry for her last month, Marcus. $8,400. At the exact same time, you told me we needed to cut our budget and spend less money. You said we couldn't afford to fix Emma's bedroom windows. You said we couldn't afford a family vacation. My voice was cold now. Angry. You're not sorry for what you did. You're just sorry you got caught. Patricia grabbed my arm hard. Her fingers dug into my skin. You can't just throw him out of his own home. That's his house. You have no right. I pulled my arm away from her roughly. No, Patricia. It's my home. It was always my home. And you're both trespassing now. I had the locks changed this afternoon while you were all setting up this dinner. A locksmith came at 3 o'clock. Her mouth fell open in shock. Your belongings will be on the front lawn tomorrow morning. Both of you. I've hired movers to pack everything up tonight. You ungrateful little, Patricia started to say something mean. I held up my phone. I showed her that it was recording. A little red light blinked at the top. Careful what you say right now, Patricia. Everything you say is being recorded. And it can be used against you in court. My lawyer is very good. The best in the state actually. And I record everything these days. Every conversation. Every argument. Everything. Patricia's mouth snapped shut. Her face turned red with anger, but she didn't say another word. She was smart enough to know she'd already said too much. I put my phone back in my purse. I grabbed my coat from my chair. I held my head high. Goodbye, Marcus. My lawyer will contact yours on Monday morning. Don't try to call me. Don't come to my mother's house. Don't contact me at all. Everything goes through the lawyers now. I walked out of that country club with my head held high. I didn't cry. I didn't run. I walked slowly and calmly. Every person in that room watched me leave. Emma was waiting by the car. She had both our bags. I unlocked the doors and we got in. Are we really leaving, Dad? She asked quietly. Yes, baby. We really are. What happened after that was even better than I imagined. Better than I hoped. Marcus tried to fight the divorce. He refused to accept it. He hired a lawyer and acted like he was going to win. Like he had some kind of case. He told people I was being unreasonable. But when his lawyer saw all my evidence, the lawyer actually laughed. Right in Marcus's face. The lawyer looked at the documents, the photos, the bank statements, and laughed. "You're going to lose everything," his own lawyer told him in their first meeting. "Your best option is to settle quickly and quietly. Take whatever she offers and be grateful." But Marcus refused. He's stubborn and stupid. A dangerous combination. He wanted to go to trial. He thought he could still win somehow. He thought the judge would feel sorry for him. He thought he could make me look bad. That was a huge mistake. The biggest mistake of his life. During something called discovery, both sides have to share all their information with each other. Everything. No secrets allowed. That's when I revealed the offshore bank accounts. The secret accounts Marcus had been hiding for years. Accounts in the Cayman Islands. Accounts in Switzerland. I found them all. It turned out Marcus had been doing something even worse than cheating. Something criminal. He had been stealing money from his own company. Embezzling. Moving money to secret accounts overseas bit by bit. He was planning to take all that money and disappear. When his business partners found out, everything collapsed. Everything fell apart in a single day. Marcus's business partners called an emergency meeting. They brought their lawyers. They fired him immediately. Then they sued him for every penny he'd stolen. They wanted their money back plus damages. The police started a criminal investigation. Detectives came to question him. They seized his computers and files. He might go to jail for a long time. 10 years or more if they can prove everything. Vivian, his girlfriend, left him the same day the news broke. The exact same day. She didn't even wait to hear his side of the story. She blocked his phone number. Changed her locks. Moved to a different apartment. Within a week, I heard she was already dating someone else. Some rich older man. She never really loved Marcus. She just wanted his money. She wanted the expensive gifts and fancy dinners. And now he had no money left. So she had no reason to stay. Patricia tried desperately to save her reputation. She started calling her friends. Making up stories. She told people that I had trapped her son. She said I had tricked him into marrying me. She said I was a liar and a gold digger who wanted his family's money. But our friends knew the truth. They'd seen what happened at the dinner. They'd heard everything I said. And all the evidence was public record now. Anyone could go to the courthouse and look it up. Anyone could see the truth for themselves. Slowly, one by one, Patricia's fancy friends stopped inviting her to parties and events. She stopped getting invited to the country club gatherings. She stopped getting calls about charity events and fundraisers. She became an embarrassment. A scandal. No one wanted to be associated with her anymore. No one wanted to be connected to the family drama. Meanwhile, I stayed calm and quiet. I didn't gossip about Marcus or Patricia. I didn't post anything on social media. I didn't badmouth anyone to our mutual friends. I didn't have to say anything. The truth spoke for itself. The evidence was clear. People could make up their own minds about what happened. About a month after I filed for divorce, Emma asked me something important. We were sitting on the couch in my mother's living room. We were watching a movie together. Some Disney movie she'd seen 100 times. She suddenly paused it with the remote and turned to me. "Mom, did you know the whole time?" I knew what she was asking. "Know what, sweetheart?" That Dad was lying to us. That he had a girlfriend. I pulled her close and hugged her tight. I could feel her little heart beating against me. I knew something was wrong. I could feel it. But I wanted to be completely sure before I did anything about it. I wanted to have proof. "Are you sad?" she asked quietly. Her voice was so small. I thought about her question for a long moment. I wanted to be completely honest with her. Kids deserve honesty. No, I said truthfully. I'm not sad. I'm actually relieved. We're going to be okay now. Better than okay. We're going to be happy. Emma nodded against my shoulder. Me too. I'm relieved too. I didn't like it when Dad was home anymore. He was always angry. Always on his phone. That broke my heart a little. That's when I knew for certain I had made the right choice. This wasn't just about me anymore. This was about giving Emma a better life. A honest life. A happy life. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. 6 long months of lawyers and meetings and paperwork. But it was worth it. I kept everything that was actually mine. The house. All my investments. My retirement accounts. My business accounts. Everything I had worked hard to earn. Marcus got almost nothing. He got his debts. His ruined reputation. A fraud investigation that would probably send him to prison. Legal bills he couldn't pay. And no job. He had to move back in with his mother Patricia. She has a small condo now. Not the big fancy house she used to pretend she had. Just a 2-bedroom condo in a less expensive part of town. I heard from a mutual friend that they barely speak to each other anymore. They just sit in that condo, watching TV in silence, blaming each other for everything that went wrong. Marcus blames Patricia for pushing him to cheat. Patricia blames Marcus for being stupid enough to get caught. They're both miserable. Both alone. Both broke. Meanwhile, my life got better and better. Every single day got a little bit brighter. I started my own consulting company. I help other women who think their husbands might be hiding money or having affairs. I teach them how to protect themselves. How to find the truth before filing for divorce. How to gather evidence properly. Business is going great. Better than I ever expected. Women need this service more than you'd think. So many women are in situations like I was. They know something is wrong but they don't know how to prove it. I help them find the proof. I help them get ready. I help them protect themselves and their children. Emma is doing wonderful now. So much better. We went to therapy together for a few months. A nice therapist who specialized in helping kids deal with divorce. It helped both of us talk about our feelings. Having a stable, honest home helped even more than therapy. Emma doesn't have to pretend anymore. She doesn't have to walk on eggshells. She can just be a kid. Last week, Emma told me something that made my heart swell with happiness. We were eating breakfast together before school. Mom, I like it better with just us. Me too, baby, I told her. I meant it with my whole heart. And I did mean it. Our little family of 2 is happier than we ever were before. We laugh more. We talk more. We're honest with each other. We don't have to pretend everything is perfect when it's not. About a year after everything ended, I saw Marcus one time. Just once. I was at my favorite coffee shop getting my morning coffee before work. It was a Tuesday morning around 8. I walked in and there he was. He looked so different. Smaller somehow. Like he'd shrunk. Tired and old. His hair was grayer. He had dark circles under his eyes. His clothes looked wrinkled and cheap. He saw me standing in line. He walked over. He looked nervous. His hands were shaking a little. Diana. Can we talk for just a minute? Please? I looked at him for a moment. Then I said simply, no. I just want to say I'm sorry. I made mistakes. I held up my hand to stop him. I didn't want to hear it. Marcus, I don't care what you want to say. I really don't. You made your choices. I made mine. We're done. We've been done for a year. But I lost everything, he said. He sounded like he was looking for sympathy. Like he wanted me to feel sorry for him. I looked at him carefully. Really looked at him. No, Marcus. You didn't lose everything. You threw everything away. There's a big difference between losing something and throwing it away. He opened his mouth to say something else. I didn't wait to hear it. I picked up my coffee from the counter. I walked past him. I didn't look back. Not even once. I got in my car and drove to work. And I felt nothing. No sadness. No anger. No regret. Just nothing. He was a stranger to me now. Here's what I learned from everything that happened. What I want other women to know. You don't need to scream and yell to be powerful. You don't need to cry and break down to be strong. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's taking back your own life. It's standing up for yourself. It's refusing to accept less than you deserve. I didn't just survive my husband's betrayal. I didn't just get through it. I rebuilt myself into someone stronger. Someone better. Someone who knows her own worth. Someone free. Someone who owns her own house and doesn't need anyone else to take care of her. Someone who can look at herself in the mirror and be proud of what she sees. Patricia called me a gold digger? Fine. Let her think whatever she wants. Let her believe whatever makes her feel better about herself. I dug myself out of a marriage that was built on lies. I dug through all the secrets and deception. And I found gold on the other side. My truth. My peace. My power. My freedom. They can't take any of that away from me. Nobody can. Not Marcus. Not Patricia. Not anyone. I am free. I am strong. And I am finally, truly happy. Emma is happy. I am happy. That's all that matters now. That's all that ever mattered. Thank you for watching. For more interesting revenge stories, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification for the next intriguing family revenge stories.